Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Big M's Power Hour, a part of the Strength Hammer Network, with your host.
Conglomerate.
Meeting, yeah, the takeover's begun. So yes, this will be through the Strength Hammer channels. I am your ever-present personality, Chuck Moore, but tonight's host will be the lovely Matt Hayward.
Hey, you know it.
So, we are going to be doing podcasts twice a month now, the first and third Friday of every month. And if you're listening to this right now, then you realize that we're already a few days behind on this. So, go team. But
organization.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. I think people can forgive us for missing our first mark, but we'll try to not do that again. But Matt, this is going to be kind of your show. Your corner of the Strength Hammer world. So why don't you let everyone know what this Big M's Power Hour is going to be about?
Well, this is going to be all about the previous month wrap up of news, kind of where we've been, a little bit of where we're going. I feel like if the normal show is the op-eds, this is the front page.
Yeah. Oh, also, we're doing video now. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go check it out on YouTube. There's going to be a video of our lovely faces. And right now, the branding, obviously Strength Hammer logo's there. And then Marathi's here because if you don't know that I don't like Marathi, just stop listening, leave, go away.
Listen to this one, stop listening to the other ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm forcing my brand onto your show. Okay. All right, now I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm sneaking in the back. I'm Slaneshing through the channel crevices.
Yes. And so Matt will have on the guests he sees fit. Sometimes it may be me. Sometimes I may just be lurking in the background being the editor. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like most people, so
there you go.
It's gonna be a small list.
There you go.
So if you actually do make it here, well done.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry I interrupted your rundown of what your first ever Big M show is going to be.
Yeah, basically we'll go through kind of the releases, just because there's sometimes where even like I've been wondering like, oh, what came out this year? Hey, you just look at my look for these episodes, and you literally have to watch 12, the first couple minutes of 12 episodes to get the entire rundown. So
heck yeah,
and also let it be. As always, I like to put my commentary in with just about everything. So if there's anything that pops out to me, I'm probably going to cover it.
Listen, we're 30-something men with microphones. We have opinions. Don't you worry. We got plenty. And you know what? They're all right because we have the mics and you don't. So
yeah,
that's true.
Anyone can start a YouTube channel or hijack someone else's.
I'm going to wait for this to become bigger than the main show and everything I do just to continue to be subpar. and not only you'll be the second friend of Chuck who overshadows me eventually, but I'd love to see my friend succeed, so.
Don't worry. You can ride my coattails anytime.
Thank you. Hero. Yeah. Should we start off with a quick word from our sponsor? Do you got one ready?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Brush for hire. If you like choking bananas, and that's not a euphemism, brush for hire.
Twitch.tv.
Yeah, man. Our other buddy, Sean, the Brush for Hire. He's on Twitch every day, all the time. He never logs off.
Yep.
If he's not on, just yell at him. Yeah. He'll get out of bed and start painting.
Actually, I love seeing it, and this is what a passionate fan base he has, which is a really unique thing he's done. But I've seen the points where it's like 5 or 6 whenever he stops streaming for his 8-hour day, and he wants to go home, and his audience says, "Nah, we're enjoying this," and they just keep like spamming and sending him money, so he has to stay. Like, that's when you know you're doing well. Yeah. People like what you're saying.
Like I said, I think both of us knew that, we knew someone special in more ways than one, and it's good to see that the internet is immediately latching on as well to
Yep.
to confirm that. All right, so let's. I think we should get started here with the releases. We'll go over that.
Releases. You gave me rumor engines first, sir.
Hey, you told me you didn't want to go over releases. So.
Oh, fine. That's true. Go ahead, do your releases. I'm just gonna look at Marathi on screen. That's all.
Done. Good. And again, pipe in if there's anything you want to talk about here, because the very first one that we have at the beginning of the month, we had the Sunday preview for the Sons of Bahamut, the SOBs.
I'm going with Behemoth.
I'm just going to go with the Giants.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Bit of a cop out, but
like I said, I think the jury's still out on this army. I mean, there's a lot of I think there's both a lot of legitimate pros and a legitimate cons. You know, it's I think people are a little upset that it's only one box.
It's two.
You know, well, there's only one new box.
They repackaged and charged more,
and almost doubled the price. Yeah.
Well, I think what I like. Anthony over AO's coach, he kind of said it pretty simply. It's not a complicated army, but
right.
I've seen a lot of people do well with it in some fun matchups. I think there's going to be some scenarios or maybe some matchups where you're just like, well, I'm just screwed. But I think there's a lot more that, hey, let's see what happens. Let's roll some dice.
Absolutely. Like I said, I don't want to be completely negative about the army. It is definitely...
Yeah, I'm not negative about the army. Like I said, it costs more than I expected. I don't like not much more, but more than I expected. Not that I was going to buy this army, so I don't want. I'm not poo-pooing on it at all. I look forward to seeing it on the table. Like,
I think. See, I'm torn about it because it was something that I was looking forward to, and I was really thinking about picking up as a secondary army, because, and I think one of the things is I kind of had a different perspective on it than what other people thought. Other people, I think they were kind of assuming it to be almost like Imperial Knights from 8th edition and 40k, where they're going to hit the table and you better start running. And I had a feeling that wasn't going to be the case, because, I mean, arguably, destruction isn't exactly the strongest Grand Alliance. And I don't feel that it needs to be. I feel like that should be kind of the home for the, D6 damage and the 2d6 movement and, the wacky rules. I think it's one of those ones that doesn't have to be competitive. I think it should be kind of where you go to have your fun and have your opponent go, ah, crap.
I mean,
a smile on its face,
I think you're right. I as far as at least Orc War Clans goes, I've never seen an unhappy Orc War Clans player. I've seen some unhappy Gits players, but I think that also plays into the Gits theme.
yeah. And like I said, so pricing aside, I think that's probably one of the things that I want to get into and actually try them on the table at some point, because so as a person that has only read over the book and hasn't played them, I kind of wanted more off-the-wall rules, like the objective punting. I kind of wanted some of that weird stuff, and they're very tame on the amount of weird rules there are. But again, whenever you get it on the table, it's going to be a very different experience than what it is reading the book.
Right.
But like I said, I think if you were only going to have it be one of 3 builds for a Mega Gargant, and then the regular Gargants, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it might not have been too much to ask for maybe one new Gargant model. So you can have one of the old, one of the new. Like I said, it's nitpicky, but like I said, whenever you only have 2 different models, it would be nice to have it be more than 50% new models.
That's fair.
But like I said, we'll see where it is. I think people were really expecting it to be a top tier competitive army, and I don't think that was the right mindset to go into it.
I think that happens a lot more often, just in general. It's a new army
Yeah.
because there has been some power creep, not to a
Right.
drastic effect, but everyone's like, new army, it must be the most powerful thing. It's like, nah, calm down. Not
Right.
everything needs to be, because then that's just
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and again, like I was talking about how it's different when you read it from when you play it.
Mhm.
Uh, like I'm on, as I'm doing the Lumineth army, I'm on a bunch of different Lumineth pages on Facebook, and you see this giant polarization of like, oh, my wardens just melt, and oh my god, the wardens are so overpowerful, and like, and then you see all these. It's really funny. So you see all these people building lists, and they all have sentinels, because they do mortal wounds at 30 inches without line of sight.
Mhm.
But whenever you see the people who are actually playing, no one's talking about sentinels.
Right.
And so again, it's one of those things where you read it on the page, it does one thing. You put it on the field, it does another.
Yeah,
So
I know somebody in the community who bought like 60 Sentinels and now is selling the army. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like, it happens to the best of us. So
yeah, it's and again, I think Lumineth, from everything that I understand, Lumineth is still really good once you learn how to play with it.
Mhm.
But it's not the end of the world that was originally foreshadowed.
No, and I will stand by my going against the grain of the general community. Techless is not a trap. I keep hearing
No, and
that.
again,
I keep hearing that, and it's wrong.
everyone that I've heard it from is either someone that hasn't played it yet or doesn't exactly know how to tar trap and all the other tricks.
I wouldn't say that. I know a few. First one comes to mind is Jeremy Vessier. He's a fantastic player. He says Techless is a trap, but I will disagree with him just to disagree with him, based solely upon subjective opinion at this point. Because he could, I'm sure he could prove to me why I'm wrong. But I will take this. This will be a hill I will stand upon.
Yeah, and again, whenever you get to people on that level, it's kind of a different fish,
Anyway, what?
Yeah, but so
yeah, we talk too much about giants and elves that don't deal with blood.
I think it's necessary. I could probably do a whole show on just giants, but so for the same week, we also got, which was amazing. This was great. We got the Endrin Master and the Magister from the KO and Zinch box.
Mm-hmm.
This, while obviously the Endrin Master with the dirigible suit is a very important model to the army now.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure about the Magister. It's not necessarily that the models came out, it's that turnaround time, because
how long was that?
That was just a couple months.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, because I know the Sylvaneth one took quite a bit of time.
Over a year.
Yeah, actually, I got my Sylvaneth thanks to Martin Orlando being very generous and giving me the one out of the box he had. Because
I just ordered mine off of eBay.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm not going to wait however long they want.
I think honestly with those, 1 quarter, 3 months is not too much to ask.
Yeah.
To leave it be exclusive to help encourage people to buy that box. I understand that aspect, but yeah outside of 3 months, it's like, I'll just kit bash and proxy something at that point.
Right. Because again, like I said, I mean, what's funny is, and this has been my experience, because again, we were talking about Space Marines and how I really like those assault intercessors.
Mm-hmm.
The eBay community is taking these and are selling them for what they should be sold for in stores.
Right.
I spent maybe $20 on that Sylvaneth model. And same thing with the assault intercessors. You can go online right now and find it from between $25 and $35. And whenever that kit comes out, it's going to be 50 to 60.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't go Indomitus box as a good example, just because that's all push to fit. Whereas the one that comes out for 50 to 60 will be completely like customizable, have all the weapon options. I think that is a little bit different, but
absolutely,
I know what you mean. Like there's a secondhand market Yeah.
That's fair. All right, so let's see what else we got. So then, so also this week we had the Necron Warriors, and each box came with scarabs. I thought that was pretty cool. We got the Scorpek Destroyers. We got the which one is this one called? The Hexmark Destroyer. That it's such a good model. This is the one that has the big orb on the back, 3 legs, 4 arms each one, either as guns or holding guns. I think it's as
Oh,
guns.
yeah. Well, I thought it was. Does he have 4 or 6 arms?
I only see 4 in this picture. Oh
Okay.
no, there's
Thought
one
I had
5. I see 5 arms, so there might be a 6th one hiding.
Probably, yeah.
And then of course, I was very upset that I missed it. The Mcfarland toys of the Necron Warrior and the Assault Intercessor. I was very upset that we missed that. 7-inch figures for $20. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
That's pretty good. And I've seen some amazing paint jobs, not on the Necron per se, but on the Space Marines. People have taken those to such level art.
Just today, I saw someone painted up as a Imperial Fist with pro level weathering and battle damage. It was amazing.
The other good thing about those too is I've seen people, like I saw someone do an Imperial Fist, but it gave it like a Jackie no, yeah, was it Jackie Chan's head? Can't remember. But like, you know, people are just taking like, or Chuck Norris's head. People are taking like other 7-inch figures, just swapping the heads onto their Space Marine just to be fun.
That's hilarious. All right, and then finally, the most important release of the week from one of my favorite games, Middle Earth.
Yeah, good game. Very good game.
They came out with a triple pack. I think it was through Forge World only, of Bill the Pony.
Yeah.
And the Gatekeeper. What was his name? Harry Goatleaf.
See, that's the group you need. That's the group you need.
I love that even on the GW rendition of Butterbur, he's out in the middle of the field holding ale and a sandwich.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's rules to these. I'm assuming
there are.
There are. Does Bill the Pony grant like a bravery type aura since he's the bravest pony?
I don't know exactly what he does. I remember looking at the rules and going, I could fit that in my list.
You can. There's always room for Bill the Pony.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next week. We had more Necrons. We had the Ophidian Destroyers. These are the guys with the like snake tails.
Wrong kind of snakes. That's not real. It's not Dodgers Kane snakes. Like, come on, keep it moving, Matt. Come on.
This was another one that I was.
We didn't even warn people. We're going to talk about 40K on this stuff too a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we both play 40K.
Yeah. I'm just going to go over the news. I'm going to go over the Games Workshop news, and if it's I'm not going to go too in depth with Warhammer. This episode is probably going to be a lot of Warhammer because this was kind of the big month after the big new edition drop.
Well, we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this every month, so there won't be as much. Here's a drinking game though for everybody at home playing along. Every time you see in the video or hear my voice that I'm getting bored with Matt talking about the releases and I'm trying to get him to hurry to the next one to get to talk about what I want to talk about, take a drink.
Or anytime I encourage people to play Middle Earth strategy battle game, which you should all do.
Yes, you should.
So now this is another 40K thing that came out that I'm super excited for. Because I want to see where it goes. Mm-hmm. And it is the Convergence of Dominion, the 3 Necron structures for terrain. One of the things that I've always said about 40K is, why does every fight have to deal with Imperial ruins?
Well, these are kind of like terrain pieces they can bring and pay points for.
Right.
Because like we have the Hammerfall bunker on the Space Marine side. So I kind of like it. I'm glad that you can pay points because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I said, I mean, if I were playing, as long as, my opponent had, if they wanted to use those as terrain and then also wanted to use some as rules, as long as they're painted differently,
Yeah,
I couldn't care
go
less.
for it.
Or as long as there's some way for me to even notice.
Hmm.
Like I said, that's one of the things that drove me nuts is whenever, I guess it was almost 2 years ago when GW came out with the Eldar Terrain.
Oh, it's
and
like
everyone,
sticks and twigs.
well, no, like it was. Well, I actually used the one, it's like spiny barbs or something like
Yeah.
that I actually use for coral. Whenever I put up, whenever I use my Lake Town set,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone just complained about it, and I was like, no, shh, buy it, just buy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it, just buy it.
Yeah, there you
So we got a new monolith finally after 100 years. And it looks great. And then, of course, the new centerpiece model for the Necron.
go. Silent King.
Well, this is Satan's Shard of the Void Dragon.
Okay, so there's a couple. I guess there is a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one where it kind of looks like the Celestin Prime.
Yeah, but stealing up a lot of like the negative space on some of the portions of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a
I
lot.
love that digital effect. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If it's for me, I would drive everyone nuts, paint the whole body chrome.
I mean, it'd work.
And then again, so to counteract the Necron, of course, we have to have a Space Marine release. So we got that delicious Hammerfall bunker.
Yep. I own this quarter of the table model.
Whether I use it or not, I definitely want to have one. Just because I really like the model.
I want one because I played Terran in StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I'll use it in the game, but I played Terran, so I want one.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no real Protoss equivalent in 40k. But,
the Eldar would be the closest.
It's not close enough. So we also got the Primaris Tech Marine.
Yep, which apparently he's
Good
a beast. He's the beast on the rules.
Yep. I'm not going to worry about all the books, but I do want to point out that the Elves Omnibus came out this week as well.
Woohoo. I like that. And that was the Tyrion and Teclis ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Read them. I
Right.
read them back when they first came out. They are excellent.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or you can check out strengthhammer.net and go to the lore section and read about Tyrion and Teclis, which covers most of what's in those books.
Yes, definitely. All right. So on to the next week.
Woohoo.
Was a Warcry week. So this was where Catacombs came out.
Mhm.
And I'll admit it, I have not played as much Warcry as I would have liked. We'll see. Like I said,
It's like riding a bike because I didn't play it for a long time because when I was getting games and I was just playing Age of Sigmar 40k, but my local club, we had a Warcry day because we had one of the original kits with the medals and everything. And honestly, it comes right back to you. Like, don't ever be. It's like riding a bike, and it's still fun. Like, there's nothing wrong with that game at all.
Overall thoughts, just kind of high level volume. Like, if there's any sort of critiques or things you really like, you want to point out about it. What's kind of your?
I love the priority roll. It is the best priority roll system I've ever had in a game. Just rolling those dice, but then the doubles and triples help you get power, but then you have less singles, so then you go second. Adding the wild dice. It's just a fantastic game. I love you can get crazy with the boards. Heck, I have a custom Warcry board, which is an old display board that I was really proud of, but I'm like, I'll just make this a Warcry board and move on with my day, and I still get to use it. It's a great game. I do love that the Catacombs lore, the story from that set, ties into the intro of Broken Realms Marathi, so it's a key piece of what's going on. As far as I didn't get a good look at the terrain for the Catacombs. I mean, it's kind of flat, so like I don't want to give any judgment on that until I see that painted on the table, which I just got the Canite Shadowstalkers out of the box, which absolutely beautiful. I love building and painting and just lavishing on those models. But everything in it looks fantastic. So Warcry has amazing models, and I'm curious to see what the Catacombs rules actually are, because I know they are different as well, like just little tweaks.
Yeah, so again, I'd absolutely echo everything you said there. I'll even give it more a vote of confidence with the flat terrain. Yeah, it's flat terrain, but at the same time, this is going to be something that is going to be more usable in more situations. Like, you can literally just get a couple pieces of paper, draw your own map. You can download boards online, I'm sure, and you're going to be able to use this terrain for that. Whereas the 3D terrain, you're going to need space, you're going to need room, you're going to need storage space. So I think the 3D stuff looks better.
It very much makes the Catacombs box set almost more of like a intro board game style, because it can really all just fit in there nicely once it's all built.
Yeah, that's going to be super easy to pack and store. I feel the utility on it is going to be a little bit higher.
The only downside, I guess I would say, is a new person picking it up. Like, I'm used to building fiddly elves. The Canine Shadowstalkers weren't the easiest things to go together. They weren't a nightmare by any means, but there's some green stuffing, so it's weird because like I look at that and like, man, that's a great starter, because like I said, it's all contained in the box. It all fits in the box like a board game. But models were a little bit more of a challenge to build, which I'm not upset about from my end. Just, as far as a new person, it might be a bit more daunting.
Yeah. So the and to your credit about the rules or the priority roll, I love looking and dissecting and analyzing rules. I love to see how integrated they are, where they just built up. That is one of these super like easy, like it's a really in-depth concept.
Yes.
And it is so smooth that it's like, why didn't someone think of this sooner? It's that good.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing like with 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons with advantage and disadvantage. Like, oh, you're better off in this situation. Just roll 2 dice and take the better. Like, duh.
Yeah.
It's so easily integrated and so integral to the system. Oh, genius.
Yep.
Now, I will put one piece of criticism on Warcry, and again, I have not played a lot of Warcry, but from every game that I played, since it's only 3 rounds, I feel like round 1, everyone gets into place. Round 2, everyone gets into combat. Round 3, combat continues. End of story. And it's basically whoever gets to wherever they needed to go is typically the winner.
Actually, I will refute that because they came out with more and more scenarios as time went on.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
I want to be.
Yeah. I can say you're wrong on this because I have 2 Daughters of Cain armies, the Cainite Shadowstalkers, and then like just a mixed Daughters of Cain force. One's a beat stick. Cainite Shadowstalkers are not a beat stick, and really, I guess this would be my downfall for the game. Sometimes you get into a scenario and you're just like, I cannot win this.
Yeah.
You really have to play a certain way, and if you come into a scenario that doesn't work well for you, you're pretty screwed pretty quickly. Now, in official play, you do best out of 3, so chances are you're gonna be okay. But I played 3 games with my Cainite Shadowstalkers. The first one I played them like my other Cain, which is run forward and a little bit of movement, but it's like they're not as fast. They're very fragile, but they're not really meant to do much. Like, and then once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, this is how I do it. And then I won. I was like, okay, so
yeah. All right, so let's see. So we got that set. We got the Catacombs out. They also came out with Catacomb board pack. So like I was talking about, so there's 2 more. Well, it's a double-sided board.
Yep.
They give you more places to put that terrain down.
Yep.
They also came out with the Warcry starter sets of Skaven, KO, Flesh Eaters, Iron Jaws.
Yeah, which I think these turned out to be a pretty good deal for some of them, like almost like a bundle deal.
I'm looking at the KO. Well, there's 3 Balloon Boys, so that's a $50 box or something like that. And then there's looks like 5 Thunderers, and that's another $50 box. So
there you go.
Unless that's $100. So I have a feeling that if you have interest in these, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to be around forever.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things they made a bunch, and
Yeah.
once they're gone, but it's not like a limited technically thing. They're just not gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so to dip a little bit into another tertiary game, Necromunda. Neither one of us play it, so we're probably not going to touch on it very much.
It's the one game I really want to play.
I would be all on board if they didn't wimp out. They looked at the sun and they blinked.
You wanted Judge Dredd, I know.
I wanted my Judge Dredd Robocops. The Arbiters or Arbites probably is how it's probably pronounced.
Yeah.
But instead they released the Arbiters like lackeys, like the people that report to them. I think they're like the Paladors or something like that.
Yeah, which look a lot more like ODST from Halo.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not a bad design. Yeah. It's not a bad design. But I wanted to see what is the artist's rendition. How are they going to separate the Arbiters from into copyrightable areas?
Right. Yeah.
And it's instead of like just kind of redoing them and refining them, it's like they just replace them with kind of I'll probably get some flack for this, but kind of going up to bat and bunting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we got the House of Iron, or looks like there was something for House of Iron, or the House of Iron book came out.
Yeah, which is kind of like their redo of their rules.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then the Orlocks, Arm Masters, Wreckers came out, which came out with 2 good mecha boys, little doggies.
Yep.
And a flying guy who, I don't know if you've seen this in person.
No,
it's
it
like
looked
2
okay.
inches.
I have seen it in person.
High.
It's they had extra of those flight stands around for sure.
And please, GW, please get rid of that flight stand. Go back to putting like pegs or something, please.
Yeah, I like the terrain. I like the terrain used to fly. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
The terrain is honestly the main reason why I brought this up. The Zone Mortalis Gang Stronghold. This thing is amazing. It has a watchtower and like a water pump and gates. Perfect. It's what you could ever. I don't know what else you could ask for. Oh, and finally, going over to Forge World, we had the Dark Angels Legion Deathwing Companions.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Oh boy, man! I'll tell you what. It has been a long time since Dark Angels have gotten that much flavor in 5 little models.
Yeah, and when I first saw those, I'm like, "Ooh, can I use these as Blade Guard veterans?" They're short. I could put the bases up, but it's just like, I mean, if I ever decide to do Blade Guard, I would.
You could always do what we did prior to Primaris, where we saw the legs and add a little green stuff, make them extra foot taller.
That's true. I could. We'll see. We'll see. If I ever do Blade Guard, I'll definitely use them for it. That's for certain.
All right, and so then we're going into the next week here, where we have a couple things to talk about here. Oh, it looks like a news thing I want to talk about at the same time. So this was the first big new Codex releases, where we had Space Wolves and Death Watch. Kind of a bittersweet moment for me, because
when did the Space Marine and Necrons come out? Was that right? Was that like the week before we started our month? Okay, September. All right. Sorry, continue on then, because I really like the Space Marine Codex a lot. Plus the FAQs for all the smaller ones.
So this is a bittersweet moment for me, because both of these are previous armies I played, and I've played for over a decade. I did eventually get rid of all the models I had for them, because with Primaris coming out, I really felt like I was trapped in the past. And again, I know that it's unreasonable and it was not to be. I shouldn't have expected anything, but I was hoping that, since 8th edition largely went without these individual chapters getting shown a little bit of extra love to try and bring them into the future, I was hoping that 9th edition was going to be the time for that.
I know I went into 9th edition as a Dark Angel player with only a handful of Primaris models, just going, because like Terminators and Deathwing and Ravenwing, that's
Right.
a big part of the army. Going, okay, this is gonna be the time that I'll go full Primaris because we'll get the bikes. I mean, we may not get Terminators, but we're getting things added to the Deathwing wing as far as like the Blade Guard, and then they decided to give me the best rules I've ever had as a Dark Angel player with all my old models. So I guess
Right. And so like that's a pro and a con in its in and of itself. I am not one of the people who wants to hold on to the old Marines. We have Primaris. The models are gorgeous. The rules are, well, in 8th edition, the rules were vastly superior.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 9th edition, they made it so there's a place for...
There's a big place. Guard. There's a big place.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just a, well, I guess you can still play with your toys. It's the, I want to bring Terminators for a reason. I want to bring Tac Squad for a reason. I want to bring Devastator for a reason.
Right. And like I said, right now I mix with my army. I'll bring some Primaris and a lot of the old stuff, but yeah, I was taken aback by the not going full Primaris at this point. So, hey, whatever. It saves me money. I'm not going to complain.
Right, exactly. At the end of the day, it saves you money, unless we get to our next item, combat patrol boxes. I get it, but as a consumer, I'm a little frustrated. These are the combat patrols. For him that hasn't seen them yet, is basically enough to kind of start you. I think they're a little bit more of an intelligently put together start collecting box.
Okay.
And so like for the Death Watch, you get intercessors, you get an apothecary, you get a lieutenant, and you get 3 of the aggressors. I believe they're aggressors. The ones that look like Terminators. But
they're aggressors.
And I would assume everyone has the Death Watch shoulder pad, so I assume there's enough Death Watch upgrade sprues in there for everybody. So it is still a deal, but these are much more expensive than the previous start collecting boxes. I could pull up the website, but I believe they're like 125.
Yeah, because start collecting were 85. They did have the Allies boxes for a little bit that were 100, which were still really good values.
And again, like I said, it is a deal. However, we are now straying from the original intent.
In a year where a lot of people are having problems making ends meet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's very difficult whenever we're in this realm right now where people are losing their jobs left and right, businesses are closing. Oh, hey, by the way, we know you're stuck in the house. Here's something you can't afford that you desperately want. And it's only 15 miniatures. I mean, it's a little bit of a bitter pill.
Right.
Even if they wanted to put them in as an introductory price, okay, because again, it's not necessarily new models. They are newer models. They've come in and out in the last 3-4 years.
Right.
But it's nothing that is brand new. So for the and then Space Wolves also got one. They also got a new kit, the Hounds of Mordecai, which are essentially Reavers with a couple upgrade bits.
Okay. And they also have special rules in the Codex, I believe. Yeah.
Right. They have special rules.
Which I like that. Like, I
appreciate it.
Yeah, I really like that.
Looking at the models, I still want. I mean,
you want them to be riddled in runes and
at this point, honestly, for me, as much as I love all of the different supplemental chapters, Space Wolves, you give them a set of the armor, and they're going to be like a teenager in study hall. They are going to be scrawling. They are going to be etching. They are not leaving that alone.
Yeah.
To now think that, I believe, if I remember correctly, that more than 100 years have passed since 8th edition came out.
Yeah. So that's why the Primaris are getting more decorations. Like, if you look at the Indominus box, they're much more
So everyone's just getting more ultramarine decoration.
Well, now see, I'm pretty lucky being a Dark Angel player because
Right.
Robes are a thing, and they always love putting robes. So, and I have enough extra. I have enough extra bits that I'm able to do it just fine.
Right, and like I said, that's one of the things is most of the other chapters, Dark Angels can definitely incorporate robes. Black Templars can definitely do robes. Blood Angels can definitely do robes. Maybe not so much on Space Wolves. Like I said, I feel like Space Wolves are so unique that they should have gotten something. Maybe even an upgraded upgrade sprue. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
I mean, gotta give it time too, because
Right.
you gotta think like they're now with this stuff they're putting out is like the redo of the bikes. All the stuff we have now, like the Rhinos, the bikes that was missing from Primaris, Assault, Intercessors. We're getting that now as Primaris form. So after that's done, and probably new stuff mixed in, then maybe they'll start. Yeah, then 10th, 12th edition, you'll probably get like a full redo of the Space Wolves. And
but yeah, so this week also was the bikes, which I really like.
Yeah, I got to build them. So I built an Indominus box for somebody.
That the new bikes are just the Dreadnought version of the old bikes.
Oh yeah. I said because when I get them, like all my Ravenwing went through Primaris, but the bikes also crossed the Rubicon as well.
So this week we also got Ragnar, and we got Gazgul
Thraka.
Yeah, and his pet Kari.
Mm-hmm.
And the
wait, pet? That's not his pet. That's the standard bearer. All right.
His pet Grot Makari, as per said on the website itself. So
they can't always be right.
And we got the new streamlined pet model holder, painting handle.
Did we get the did it come with lube?
No, I think that's in store. You just have to shell out extra for that one.
Okay, all right, good. I'm glad I snuck in the overused butt plug joke for that. I've heard people say it is very comfortable. I mean, I have a bunch of the old ones, so I'm probably not going to buy it. But I mean, I can say this. Know. Well, I can say like they're useful. Like I have a few from the first generation.
Right.
They're really useful. So if you see one, pick it up. It's worthwhile.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I'll tell you, there's 3 things that GW released that people roll their eyes at, and that's the line remover, the painting cup, and the model holder.
And all three
are amazing.
They're amazing. We could probably have a podcast just talking about the painting cup. That painting cup is so good.
Yeah, so like with the painting, with the model holder, what surprises me is they made it thinner. And so like right now, since I'm doing my Lumineth on custom bases, I'm doing the old school, put them on cork. And the cork it looks like it's about the same thickness as the new painting handle, and it's a little too thin for me. So I don't know if that's just because I'm a bigger dude, got bigger hands, or...
It could be. I mean, I don't know if they said they're going to stop selling the old ones either. Maybe when stock runs out. I mean, but yeah, I mean, different grips, so...
All right, so on to the next, and probably the best week we got.
Is it this week? Was it this past Saturday?
Yep. So we got
the
first book in Broken Realms, Marathi. We don't need to talk about that, so we can move on.
No, you hold your horses, sir. This is. So yeah, I've been so excited for this. God, for months now. I mean, when I got it to do play testing, I was just like, I'm sorry, what's going on? And here's the best part too, is like, the rules, tested those out, that the feedback, was enjoying them, had feedback as we always do, but like I didn't see any of the lore, but I saw battle plans to test, and there's a little bit of snippets of lore in the battle plan. So like I kind of had a generalization of what the story was, and I was just like the whole time I was like, oh my god, please come out, please come out, please come and then like COVID happened. I'm just sitting there going, please don't delay, please don't delay, please don't. I don't know if it was like I had no idea when the time frame was for it, but
I don't know. This feels
so
feels
good.
like when they would have put out Broken Realms to me.
Yeah,
But who knows?
I'm assuming at this point they might be caught back up
Yeah,
with their
I feel like,
schedule.
well, I feel like they always like to release something big in November.
Yeah. Well,
It's like November, January, April, May.
well,
Um,
this is kind of
yeah.
like plus with like you're gonna get the other stuff, but I think it's a good like pre-set up before the holidays, because December is always different things, like more stocking stuffers. It's not going to really usually be anything really big in regards to like a story for any of the games, but I can't. And people, I love how excited people are for this book, whether they're a Daughters of Cain player or an IDK player, because the fun new rules in there. But just seeing more narrative in the realms, everyone seems to be in love with the narratives. Obviously, reviewers who have enough followers and clicks and likes and all that stuff that we don't have their copies, and I've heard nothing but good things from them. We will do our full review. Don't worry. It may just be me and everyone else is bored.
Well, I'll tell you, with IDK, I think one of the things I'm most interested to see about that is I'm ready to see IDNF players finally get to play something other than eels if they want.
Yeah, they get sharks and they get turtles. You're still going to see eels. You're still going to see eels. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I don't want them to nerf eels because honestly, I don't feel they're overpowered. I feel they're really strong.
Mm-hmm. Well, the worry isn't nerfing eels. The worry is to get people to play other stuff. You have to make it better than eels. And it's just like, okay, but eels are really good. I think they found some clever ways to do it for sure.
Good. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm looking at this and I see all these eels, and again, before I read the book, I'm like, you guys have friggin' sharks. Why are you bringing these little water snakes? Like, come on, man.
I know. I have 2 sharks in my army, and I had that well before even like playtesting this. Like, I just like the IDK look. Yeah. So like, they're just cool, and it's like, but now that they're good and cool, it's like I feel less bad about running them.
Well, I remember whenever you were sitting there with, kind of a little bit of a hole in your army, and you were asking like, what do I think you should get? And I sent you the meme of I got a fever and the only cure is more Alloplexes. So
yeah, so there's 2. I have 2. If points change in a downward spiral for my list, maybe I'll add a 3rd, but we'll see. I think it's probably pretty stable.
Yeah.
But this book, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I had a dilemma today. Do I check out the lore videos from like 2+ Tough and Facehammer? They're doing lore video spoilers for this, and like I have a general idea of what's going on, but like they're going to go really in depth. I was like, do I avoid it? And like, no, I can't resist. I like praise Morathi. Everything Morathi and Daughters Cain I can get, I will just consume. Because I'm going to get the book, and yes, got the limited edition book, everybody. I will consume every bit of Daughters of Cain, Broken Realms, Morathi stuff I can get this week. And when that book gets into my hands, assuming sometime next week with the way shipping usually works from Games Workshop, I will read that front to back, and I'll be just as giddy as if it was the first time I ever heard anything.
Oh yeah, man. I'll tell you, the other thing that I was really excited to see was the Stormcast focus was not Hammers of Sigmar. I feel like the future success of Stormcast is based on them spreading the love around a little bit.
Kind of like what they have with Space Marines.
Right, yeah. Right. And in all honesty, if they wanted to break them into different codex or battle tomes, my previous idea was, my personal preference would be to have them break up into different chambers.
Right.
But I know whenever I brought that up at Nova to different people, I just get the groans and the eye rolls. But again, maybe they could do something similar by doing the different chambers, because they are getting to the point where the lore is making the different chambers very different.
Well, you mean storm hosts. Chambers are like the dragons versus the running fast.
Right. Yes, absolutely. The different storm hosts, because the Anvils of Heldenhammer, they're the first forged, right? they're starting to get a little punch drunk in their old age.
Yep. I want to see the what's it? They're in the Excelsior city. Excelsior.
There are Excelsiors, Knights of the Excelsior.
Yeah, Knights of Excelsior. I want to see more of them because they're the extreme ones. Apparently, they're the ones that like the Daughters of Cain in the lore. They're like, ooh, these girls are good. I just want to see like what does like a almost berserk or maybe like an uncontrolled version look like. It'd just be or like righteous purging to the point of like, the solution can't be worse than the disease type thing.
Now, I have a little bit of a conundrum. I don't know which way I want them to go, because for my paint scheme, I went with Knights of the Aurora from, I forget if it was the first or second battle tome, and still there's only like one little blurb in all of the different wiki articles that talk about they're just fast. They're just the fastest.
Yeah,
like that's all there is. And
you want like the kind of like, I mean, once again back to what Space Marines have. You want to be able to essentially be okay. I want to almost create my own chamber.
Well, or my own Stormhost. I don't know. So I'm a little torn. I don't know if I want to have my chamber or my Stormhost fleshed out a little bit, or if I want to keep it mine. And I think I lucked out, though, because from the second to third Battle Tome releases, they changed the paint scheme.
Okay.
So, while I'm old G Knights of the Aurora, I am no longer anywhere near what the new Knights of the Aurora look like. And the big conflict happening where the greenskins are headed towards one of the cities of Sigmar. Blanking on the name.
I think that they're going to Excelsior, isn't it?
I don't know that's the one where the Knights of the Aurora are.
Oh, then never mind, not that.
Yeah. So at least the last time I looked, I looked this stuff up while it was being told to me, and so it checked out then. I apologize, I'm terrible with names.
No, that's fine, because what really matters here is the fact that Marathi is going to achieve godhood. The Daughters of Cain will finally be able to revel in the true rebirth of Cain, and life will be great. No one will be harmed in this process.
And I'm sure Slaanesh will not take advantage of this at all, or use it as a vessel.
Nope, no. This will be, listen, it's all gonna be just fine. And here's the thing too with Broken Realms, like, is it end times level? No, but it's got the same feeling. Like, yeah. And there's gonna be people out there like, oh, these rules are so broken, blah blah blah. Like, listen, enjoy this ride. This is going to be a really fun ride from beginning to end with Broken Realms. And if events start happening again here soon, and Broken Realms is still a thing that's ongoing, and there's broken stuff, okay, let's speak up as a community and have things be course corrected. But for now, just have some fun. Let's go. Let's go.
As two people with some TO experience, I know that if there was something that was blatantly broken in a Broken Realms book, we would just not include it.
You wouldn't. It's in. Well, yeah. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate in a very asinine way.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on, because this is a big week here. So on top of that, we also got 4 boxes coming out. I'm not 100% sure how to describe them.
I call them narrative battle boxes. That's what I would call
them. I was shocked, beside myself shocked, to see this is an old model, I know, but the Dark Elf on
Black Dragon.
The dragon.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually not a terribly old model. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, but it's the newest. Fancy. It's the newest dragon that existed. It was like the last dragon made, I guess, essentially for old fantasy. Yeah. So, it's actually I see this box. If it's still around whenever I have the spare funds, I would love to pick it up just because that's the only dragon I have yet to paint for all of the elves. So
Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's
plus, I mean,
I was
it's
shocked.
plus I have an Anvil Guard city that's all dark elf themed. So
Right,
it
that's right.
just she just fits right in with all the rules in the new book and everything. So
The other one that stuck out to me was the Slaves of Darkness one. You know how I'm a sucker for chariots.
yeah, three chariots.
And this is not a chariot favoring game at the moment.
No, but as an aside, I know you're going to be participating and possibly Neil as well, but myself and Alex, friend of the show, Russian collusion artist, um, him and I did 1,000 points versus 1,000 points Slaves of Darkness battle, and it was the most fun I have ever had. So we're gonna get more people in to do this, and yeah, you could do a whole chariot 1,000 points. Technically, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's what the rules are gonna allow, but I mean, screw it, it's 1,000 points with fun with friends. Like, do what you want.
Yeah, based on what you were describing to me with that battle, it really felt like it could be the AOS version of 30K.
Yeah,
with all Space Marines.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an internal balanced book, with the exception of Marauders, which is the only thing we hard cap ourselves. 10 Marauders, that's it. That's all you can have.
Don't worry. They only have a couple more months in the sun, and then I'm sure they'll be 1,000 points for 10. So,
But yeah, those new boxes are great. They might be the closest thing we get to like a holiday type boxes, and they're not too expensive. They're I like the price point for all four of them. So, I mean, they're definitely be good pickup. They're definitely going to be limited. You know that.
Yeah. All right, and so then on to we're almost done here. Shadow and Pain. I feel like they definitely wanted to do these separately, but thankfully,
maybe that one per se, but like maybe like a weekend before.
I'm glad they're done together. It's a great box set of Daughters of Cain versus Slanesh, with
the
two
new heroes
each side. Finally, Daughters get their snake leader.
Well, this is our second snake leader, third if you count Marathi.
I feel like she's a little above Snake.
Okay, she's I mean, she's goddess, or will be whenever the book comes out here soon.
And I love the Mortals champion.
Yeah, he looks really cool. He's definitely one of those models. The more you look at, the more you see, and the more you go, this guy's deep into Slanesh.
Yep. If this is the start of a Mortals branch, if it's not just more than a one-off or two-off kit, that might be a hard thing to resist.
Well, the box set alone, it's $170 US, which is a great value for all those kits, like ridiculously good value. Like I said, and that's the weird thing, because you look at some of the newer stuff that has been coming out, like the Catacombs was much more than the last Warcry. The Giants are more expensive than we were expecting. But then you get these box sets, and then this Shadow and Pain. It's like, these are really good deals.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can get one and you have any interest in these armies, definitely do so. I mean, I have both the armies. Probably only going to worry so much about the Daughters of Cain, because my Slanesh is pretty well set where it's at. But still, it's such a good deal.
Yeah. So then on to the holiday model. I was very pleasantly surprised to see Bugman's great grandson. What is the official name here? Brewmaster General Jacob Bugmanson the 11th.
Yeah. I mean, he claims to be an heir. We haven't had that proven yet.
I believe him. He has the mug.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. I was torn, because I'm like, you could have just made it Bugman.
Yeah,
you could have. But I'm also glad that they didn't, because like, you brought Gotrek back. In one of the Gotrek audio dramas, the White Dwarf is back now. The White Dwarf from the old Fantasy Over, he makes a ton of sense coming over. He's like just one of those immortal souls. Gotrek is sort of like a god. Bugman was never a god. He was just an amazing craftsman of beer. So I'm glad the lineage continued.
Don't forget, he was also one of the greatest dwarven rangers.
That's true. I'm glad that they bring it back, but I actually like thinking through it. I like it more that it's not actually Bugman, but it carries the name through.
Yes.
Because the name is what matters, not the original Bugman.
Right. Now I'll tell you this another bittersweet moment for me, because again, I love my dwarves, even though they don't love me back. This to me cements 100%, no doubt left. There's no room for other interpretation. The dispossessed are dead. KO are the dwarves. And they are the representative, just like Lumineth are now the elves.
Right.
And cities is just the conglomeration. Do not expect a dispossessed army anytime soon. It ain't happening. No way, no how. So I can still hold out that someday we'll see a KO tech steampunk ground force.
Yeah, I mean I think that's eventually that could be a thing that would happen for sure. Like, what's missing from the KO is a shooting army, ground force. Well, like, you extrapolate this game down the line. Unless they just keep adding more and more boats. I won't lie. I haven't picked up this Bugman Son the 11th, but if I do decide to get him, there's a good chance he would be a start to me doing a very terrible but mixed Dwarden army, because I do have an old dwarf army, which I guess would be depossessed. It's still in squares. I left it there just because like I didn't have the need to bring it up, but like I would probably mix KO, a little bit depossessed. It'd probably be mostly KO with a little bit depossessed, and like a unit of fire slayers, and of course Gotrek. So like, it's not like this would be a hard army to make. It would be like, but the model is inspiring enough for me to do that if I decide to get him.
Yeah, that's kind of that's a little too deep. We'll see that for another episode about mixing the dwarves. So moving along, we also got the third series of the Space Marine Heroes. This time,
Death Guard,
focusing on Death Guard. I'll tell you, man, I'm not really super interested in them, but it is such a neat idea and such a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I wish I saw these all over the place. I mean, I've picked them up on occasion. Like if I walk into my FLGS and I just don't know what else to buy, and like that's like I bought those before for $7.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a little AOS envy.
I'd love to see Stormcast of these.
Yeah, that would be just different order armies, or even just, I don't know. I mean, there's so much that could be done with that one.
Yeah. Custom Empire. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. So we got this last week.
Yep, we finally caught up.
Sunday, so we're delving into November, but that's okay. We won't touch this week next time. That's
okay.
We have a Blood Bowl release.
Big Blood Bowl release.
It is big Blood Bowl release. Big Blood Bowl.
Big Blood Bowl.
Clearly intended for October, with the Undead army that came out, which is literally
the most Halloween themed thing I've ever seen GW release.
Comedic ghosts that are sheets.
Yep.
Frankenstein monsters. Now I have to say, as someone that doesn't play Blood Bowl and someone that doesn't like sports, I really don't have a lot of interest in this. It chokes me up a little. Because I look at these models. Because again, I did the same thing with whenever we were trying to do that league at Ligonier, and I couldn't make the time we went out and played. I was looking at the dwarf models, and they were amazing. They were everything I wanted to see them do with a dispossessed army. And so it's the same thing here. Like, you see these Empire models, like, I just like, I don't know how popular Blood Bowl is.
It's very popular.
Sure.
It's very popular.
Yeah, and that's good, because otherwise, if it wasn't, I would say maybe we could put these the effort that you're putting into here into revitalizing some cities, armies.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I have a Dark Elf Blood Bowl team, not because like I might have probably would went like the Elven Union for my Blood Bowl team if I started fresh, but I had bought the Blood Bowl kit twice to use as bits for my Daughters of Cain army.
Yeah,
because it's that good. So like then I reached a point. I'm like, well, if I just I had a few extra Canare and this, I'm like, well, then I made a Blood Bowl team because I just had it. I'm like, okay, sure, why not?
right.
Like, because it's a really fun game. I am terrible at rolling at it, and God, it drives me nuts. But it's fun. It's fun. I do really enjoy it.
Yeah. So we also got an orc team.
Yep.
You could easily make some brutes out of that.
Yep.
And then we also got is that a treant? We got
like a star player.
Acorn the squirrel, along with his treeman. There you go. And of course we have the white dwarf. So
which this is kind of like the holiday one almost. I'm not sure if they said this was the holiday one, but they said it comes with enough stuff that it might as well be the holiday one. Because usually December one comes with cards and all this stuff. So
yeah, we'll cover that. I have a couple of white dwarf things I want to touch base on, so we'll get to them when we get to them. Here.
Okay.
So, and then last thing I want to touch on again, just a special shout out to the books. There's a special collection of Ravenor coming out, which is just a great series of stories coming from classic Dan Abnett. Book looks amazing. I'm probably going to go ahead and get that.
Yeah.
And they're also releasing a Siege of Terra map.
You know what you forgot to mention?
Which one?
The Daughters of Cain novel.
Yeah, I only mentioned the stuff that was important.
All right, let me just hit stop recording. We'll have to start again from the top.
Take it from the top. Take it from the top.
One more time.
All right, so that was the releases.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of a palette cleanser. We'll do some quick rumor engines.
Heck yeah, let me bring up the first one here.
Now, here's what I want. Here's what I want for rumor engines. Again, I understand you're a playtester, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to do my prediction as to what I legitimately think it is. And then I want a crazy prediction that there's no way that it's right.
Okay. All right. I can do that. So we're on October 6th?
Yes. October 6th. A little bit of a spiky thing with another spiky thing coming into looks like a crag of some sort.
Oh, actually, here, hold on. I know exactly what we can do. You give a true prediction. I will twist whatever it is to be something from 40K. Since I don't test for 40K, I know nothing about it. Like,
all right,
I will force it into the 40K universe. So this is what we'll do.
All right. So for legitimacy, this is a hard one because there's not a lot to go off of. You can kind of see there's some spikes or some scales coming off of the blade, so it could be bioorganic. It kind of says to me that that's something you might see from either a Chaos Beast, maybe some Tyrannid. I leaned more towards Chaos Beast because the chain is there, so it's clearly chained up.
You say quick, Matt. This isn't quick. Hurry up.
This is quick for me. All right. So I'm going to go with a Chaos Scorpion.
Okay. I'm going to go with a pet Tyrannid that's leashed by a Blood Angel Sergeant. So he's walking his dog.
All right. Okay.
October 13th.
So on October 13th, I already know what this is. This is easy. This is the eggs and the bug coming out. The bug is 100% reminiscent of that. I forget what the release was, but it was for Kill Team. What was it? Or it might have been Kill Team or that
Shadow War Armageddon.
No. The box set that had the second Inquisitor with the monocle.
Oh, yeah.
I I don't know exactly what it's going to be from, but I have a feeling it might. We'll just say it's an expansion of that board game.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's a Tyranid Blood Bowl team.
Well played. All right.
October 20th.
So, October 20th, Vampires.
Chaos Tyranid.
Is that so? That's his wing then.
That's his wing, but he's chaos. That's why there's a skull and chains on it.
Okay.
All right.
Or could it be another?
Could be October 27th.
All right. So here we have a barbed spear. Like this is very reminiscent of an actual old world whale hunting spear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can see that.
So I say Vampires.
I say this is next year's Christmas holiday model, because this looks like a Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. All right, I can see that.
November 3rd.
Right. So this one, oh boy, this to me comes off as definitely something from Destruction. It feels either ogre or trollish, so I think it's more troll. So I'm thinking it is going to be a troll warband for Underworlds.
Okay, I'm gonna go with they're doing another sports game called Blood Ball, where it's like baseball, but you kill each other.
All right.
That's what I'm going with.
All right, that was a good palate cleanser.
Yes. So next, I'll bring it up here.
Yep. So now we're gonna go. I don't have too much to say. This is more along lines to just let people know what's going on. Again, there's so many times where I see people going like the what now? Here you go.
Okay.
Just watch this episode, and you know what now.
Yeah, exactly. This is Mcfarland Toys, Wave 2.
All right, so yeah, this is one I'm not going to miss this one.
Yeah,
especially knowing that they're $20. This is going to be a unpainted Necron and a Sister of Battle.
Yep.
I hope this is a proof model. I really do. The amount of detail that they have painted on this sister is abhorrent. They're like, here's some black plastic, here's some red plastic, and we'll paint a little white. Move on.
The Space Marine does look better, for certain.
And like I said, it's fine.
Yeah.
For $20, I'll paint it myself. I don't mind.
Yes, absolutely.
So keep your eye on that. Don't miss it, because again, that was one of the ones that sold out as soon as I got a chance to look the same day it came out, which is actually pretty rare for a GW release. All right. So another thing that popped up, books of the month are here.
Yeah.
GW is starting this thing where you can buy an audiobook. You could buy it from, I guess it's just their
Black Library.
Yeah, just from their Black Library. They're having one book a month that is cheaper and on sale. Last month was Avenging Sun.
It was only £3, so $5.
Yeah. So definitely, like I said, just try and remember to keep an eye on it. You never know. Get you something to listen to.
The audiobooks for Warhammer are just amazing. Like I have struggled to make time, not find time, but make time to read, and I'm finally getting back to that because I'm still getting through the latest Gotrek novel. But even despite that, because I have a long commute, I've listened to the audiobooks, and they're always top notch. Like it's amazing quality what they do for audiobooks.
Yeah. So then the next big thing, again, more 40K news. Earlier in the month, Codexes had massive updates to war gear profiles and rules. Obviously, anything that's had a Codex come out since then, you don't need to worry about it as much. Yep. But if you been living under a rock and playing old school rules, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
Go ahead and hit up the FAQ website, be able to get all this updated information.
Yep, and like I said, there's still plenty here that are still good. Like the Dark Angel Index is still good, and I don't care about the rest because I only care about the Dark Angels. until they make Yannari their own codex and it becomes its own true army, that's one, because like right now you have to kind of piece it together, which is neat. But once they do that, I'm in.
So on to the next thing is White Dwarf news about
The Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
Now, actually, real quick before we dive into this more, do you buy the White Dwarfs?
Only if there's something that I want.
Okay, I've been a mark for White Dwarfs ever since I got into the hobby. At first didn't collect them religiously, then I started collecting them monthly right before the time they went to weekly, which I actually kept up. I own all of the White Dwarf weeklies that they released. I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't. Some were meh, but there were some gems in there. But ever since then, like I collect them. I read them front to cover. Sure, there's might be some things like there's plenty of great stories and lore written by Black Library authors in there. This thing, like this Flashpoint, is a pretty neat thing. Like it's really good. Not everything in it would be useful to everybody, but it's nice. Like once a month I pick it up and I'll spend an hour just reading it and just enjoying it, and like kind of takes me back to like my early start into this hobby. I was just excited over it. Like
absolutely. I think the last 3 books that I bought was one so I could get Warcry rules for Fire Slayers.
Yep.
Another one so I could get Warcry rules for, or was it Underworlds? Warcry or Underworlds, I forget which, rules for Gotrek, and Warcry rules for Lumineth.
Right.
Funny story is I did not catch the Gotrek in time until it was sold out in my area. And so then I went on eBay to try and buy the Gotrek card, and the Gotrek card was going for like 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah.
But then I decided to play some 4D chess and just looked for the issue sealed. And I found the issue sealed for $6.
Heck yeah, there you go.
So the Flashpoint again. So this is going to be another thing.
Real quick, before you dive into this, this is another good thing. Like if you want to support your local game store, but you don't want to spend a ton of money on models, or it's nothing that you want, buying a White Dwarf is always a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean every dollar helps.
Yeah.
Whether it's a White Dwarf, whether it is a Space Marine hero model,
some paint.
Heck, even I wish they sort of would have kept going with those Space Marine chibi gotcha models.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Get more. One I didn't get that I wanted was the Skitarii.
Oh, okay.
I got the rest. So Flashpoint. This is gonna be another Sigmar jealousy issue.
Yep.
This is kind of what I want from White Dwarf. So these are essentially mini campaigns that you can play using the what's that called?
Indominus.
Yeah, using the Indominus stuff. Now this does fall under the their narrative thing where you have your character.
Oh, Crusade.
Yeah, this does fall under Crusade if I'm correct. So again, that's amazing. Here's battle rounds, battle points, like everything you could want to get you through a couple extra games.
I will say this. I like it because I understand it and it fits the theme. But it also feels like a cop-out. Like whenever you see redacted over half of a page spread, I'm like, but you wrote it there. Let me just read it.
No, it's going to happen in 40 years.
I know.
They'll send it out that time. But so not to go into the next article too much, more of a put it on your radar sort of thing. They started these things called Meta Watch. They started off with 40K and then did an AOS. Go
ahead. No, you. I'll say my piece after.
Personally, I did not get a ton out of it, but I remember trying to get the information that they provide in these, and I remember having to go everywhere for it and having to piece a lot of it together myself. trial and error. It's good to actually be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
This is great for new hobbyists.
Yeah, this is a great way to get people to see what the tournament scenes are like in a way. And it's really, really like I really like it for that, because like if I was starting out and like hadn't gone to an event yet, seeing something like this would get me excited to go to an event. For this 40K one, they chose Nick Nanavati, which I don't know him personally, but I listen to a lot of 40K podcasts, and he is a legit top tier player, and from what I hear, a hell of a nice guy. So seems like a good choice for the start of the 40K MetaWatch series. By the way, this was written by the new global events team director, organizer, Mike Brandt, essentially.
Mike. Oh,
that Mike.
Hey. That's great.
Yeah. Like I said, I have one critique on this, but I'll get to that after we cover the other MetaWatch.
Oh, I just wanted to bring up the fact that they were there.
Yeah.
I really wasn't going to go into too much more depth, so whatever you got.
The only interesting thing is, and did you send me a link to the Age of Sigmar one?
No, I just sent the one just to...
Okay. Well, I might search for it real quick. So what's really interesting is the difference, and I think this kind of exemplifies the communities in their own way. So the 40K MetaWatch is, here's just some fantastic top tier player. Here's his stats. That's fun. I mean, it's it kind of like, you kind of cringe, but it's also kind of fun. Like, I want to know what my stats are. And this is their view on what the meta is like based upon the time of writing this article, which, like I said, it's kind of neat. Someone's views, how he would handle things, what he's doing. Here, I'm bringing up the AOS one, because this one was another great. This was written by Steve Wren. He's I think he does not Forge World. He does Warhammer World events over in Nottingham. And he's definitely more on the Age of Sigmar side of things. And he got Dan Street of AOS Shorts, which another great choice for doing this. So while the 40K MetaWatch is, here's this top level player and their views on what they think the meta is and that blah 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 blah, the Age of Sigmar one I like better, because it's, here's all the data, here's what the meta is, presented first and foremost. And at the end, then it goes into a little bit of a personal opinion, as opposed to being mostly personal opinion and pulling data as needed. There's Dan. He's on the screen right now. But yeah, I love the format of this. It's weird. I want to see both styles of format. I want to see, like, what's Dan's stats, like what's more of his opinion, and other community members. And then the 40K, I want to see, like, all right, what's the overall meta like, without, like, based upon your data and pulled data. So sorry, just a little critique, not a concern. I love both styles. It's just like, now I want two types of articles for both.
We've only gotten one episode of each. Let's see if we actually get another. It's been a month.
Yep. I really like these, even if they're doing different styles. I really do like them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so the next article I pulled up was for a reminder that Warhammer Day 2020 was upcoming at the time, which is now past.
It was also Halloween.
Yep, it was also Halloween.
I don't know why they didn't just go November 2nd, because I might have made it out to Warhammer. It's Halloween. I'm handing out candy to the kids.
Yeah. So again, I believe that Warhammer Day means something to each person differently. For me, it is it's the unique model that comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which this one was Terminator Chaplain with Combi Flamer. I'm sure he has a name, but
they gave him a name, just not in this article. I forget what it is though. But so he's the General Space Marine, but he can also be taken in Death Watch and Grey Knights. I can't imagine a Grey Knights with a chaplain.
Listen, they gave it to you, just take it.
Yeah. Again, I'm all at this point, from the day Primaris came out moving forward, I am always going to have, whether I verbally stated or not, will always have a grumble about a non-Primaris Space Marine coming out.
Yep, I understand.
But again, this is great for the people that are not in that curmudgeonly mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because again, Terminators are in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, they're very good. I know while I didn't go anywhere because it was Halloween, I did make sure to do hobby that day. So, you still celebrate Warhammer Day in your own way.
Yeah. So then on to the next article here, reminding us that the Marvel's Warhammer 40,000 Marneus Calgar comic came out.
Which I've heard this is not for children.
Well, no, I mean, I can't imagine.
Because of this next image I'm going to show of him using his power fist to dismissively rip a heretic guard in half.
I swear, if just one of them just aimed for the head, man, this would be over. It's just.
See, I like if in the bottom right corner of this image, there's like, I think it's a Chaos Space Marine, but he's just staying there looking on, like you don't even see his gun. He's just watching all the heretic Astartes die. And if that's not a Chaos Space Marine, no, it is. It's a backpack. Sorry, he's just watching them die. Like he's like 10 feet from Marneus Calgar, going, "Oh man, sucks to be those guys."
Probably a bad idea.
I'll be over here.
Yeah, here's what I think is funny. So if you actually look at the images here, so you have the cover, and I'm not going to pull any punches. This is probably some of the worst art I have ever seen outside of a junior high sketchbook.
It's pretty.
It's super
generic.
bright colors. All of the action is all weird. Like the dreadnought perspective is bizarre. The head placement for Marneus Calgar is bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
The eagles attaching to his backpack are bizarre. Like it was very much done. So if this was a
well, okay, here's the thing. I'll give you my critiques right after.
If this is like a something like a Make-A-Wish kid submitted this, I apologize. But if this is a professional, woof.
I don't know who the artist was for this. For this cover specifically, but I agree. There's some mishaps on here, and if it was something like that, then please disregard all. But if you're a professional, I got some critiques on your art. Maybe not all your pieces, but this piece.
Did you ever read comics?
I did. I won't lie. My number one comic that I was fervent for was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, next to My Little Pony, I would imagine.
Nope, it was just Sonic the Hedgehog. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, got me a subscription for a year when I was young. 8 years later, they finally stopped sending me. It took 8 years for them to stop sending me that year subscription.
But so you at least, so that's actually a great example, because the Sonic comics were one of those comics where they put all of their effort into the cover.
Oh yeah, they had
and
some
so
amazing.
Here you actually show. So they show the cover, woof. Then they show the inside spread that is
amazing.
Just 10 times better. Like, the armor's toned down. It's not a cartoon. The action is there. You can feel everything. And even whenever they show one of the pages further in where that's backed out and detail goes down, even here you still feel everything.
It feels real. It feels real. Right. The cover doesn't feel real. And let me give you my gripes about it real quick. On top of what you said. So one, you see the dead lieutenant there, kind of middle right. That's a very odd pose to die in. Like he just kind of like, I'm just gonna lay down here and die, guys. I've been shot a few times. Okay. The sergeant here, standing with the chainsword. What the heck is with that chainsword?
Well, the chainsword is at a different perspective than the hand that pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
the head is
the chain. Chainsword doesn't seem big enough. Maybe it's because it's turned at an angle. Also, what's he doing with that bolt pistol? It's way above his eye line. Way above his eye line.
Over a wall. He's just shooting over a wall.
I guess. And then the other thing, and this is the weakest of the critiques, but the front and bottom center. I like that the shell casings are popping out. That's a nice touch. But maybe you shouldn't have drawn one as well as done like the blur lines at the same line as the tactical arrow on his shoulder pad, because it looks like it's just melted into his armor for some reason.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I do have to say though, the one front and center is probably the best drawn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you focus on him more than anything else. So.
Which is also just great.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got the 40K Codex Roadmap, which we're already halfway done with.
It is, but I wish that they would do this more often. I don't want to know. I don't care to know. This weekend's this. This weekend's this. This weekend's this. But if you say this quarter, these things are coming out, because I mean, if you're going to keep raising prices on some things, I'd like to budget my money.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I've heard it. Again, obviously, no official sources anywhere is going to confirm any of this, but like, they say that like, a lot of people will tell you that they don't want to tell you what the release is for two reasons. One, if you don't know what's coming out, you'll buy what's out now, which again, I can see it, but it really hasn't been Games Workshop's MO.
Yeah.
I typically more believe the second one, that if they don't tell you when it's coming out, they can change it whenever they want. I
can see both to an extent, but like if you just gave me like a loose quarter, like, because this is not all the 40K stuff that came out. This is literally just like here's some codexes. So, yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
The next 2 months, here's the books that are coming out.
Yeah.
So we already got Space Wolves and Death Watch. And so next we got Blood Angels and Death Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people love. Now let me ask you this, because I have a theory.
Okay.
Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Do you think people like Blood Angels because of the rules more, or because of the lore?
Oh, it's lore. It's 100% lore. Like the local club here, we used to have some gentlemen that were just fervent for it. I think people. Okay. I'm trying to think how to put this. Because it's not everybody, but like my club raised me on 40K in such a way that like I'm a Dark Angel player, because that's what I found and fell in love with.
Yeah,
that is what I will always be. There's people like there that do Blood Angel stuff. Now, if someone is more of a meta gamer, wanting to try and just always be the best, they're gonna have a generic army. It's a generic Space Marine army that's whatever color they want to run it, whatever's the best at the time. We have a few of those for sure, but I think like and maybe it's just Space Wolves, Blood Angels, and Dark Angels primarily that people are just like, I love this for what it is.
Yeah, so my theory is that while all of the the main three, because again, I love Black Templars as much as the next guy, but I don't remember the last time I talked to a Black Templars all the way,
Yeah.
But it's the big three in my mind is Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Blood Angels. And I know that there's a fervent crowd that takes up a certain percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the fervent people, I feel like everyone that plays Space Wolves, everyone that plays Dark Angels is enamored with the faction. And I would say a same percentage has the same fervor for Blood Angels, but there's always that more uproar about them. I think that extra uproar is the Rules Chasers, because whenever I got into it, they were probably one of the best factions, at least of Space Marines in the game.
See, I'll just disagree from all the hours of 40K stuff I listen to, that people that care about rules are gonna run the army however they want. It's like if they have an Imperial Fist army, but Ultramarines are best, they'll just run them as Ultramarines, and people like me would walk up to them and be like, "Really? All right, never mind." Even the people that play Blood Angels, whenever they're like the people that play Dark Angels and Space Wolves, whenever we get good rules, it's like, oh man, my Blood Angels finally have good rules, my Dark Angels finally on top. It's like we don't abandon them.
Well, so here's the thing though, is like since around 6th or 7th edition, Blood Angels have taken a little bit of a back seat. And that fervency has definitely died off.
The Rules Chasers went elsewhere. That's all there is to that.
Right.
But I think the people that like Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. And I would even say Imperial Fists, even though they're a generic Space Marine army, more or less. Those people will play them forever, no matter what the rules are.
All right. So moving on here, we had the most recent Warhammer preview, which that basically announced the...
Hey, good to know that whenever you click on a loaded page with a Twitch stream, it starts playing that Twitch stream. Had to mute that real quick.
Yeah, we don't want to get copyright instructions
for the generic music they use.
Yeah, listen, 12 viewers. We know which one of it is that you reported us. All right,
we know.
So this was the announcement of the second season of Blood Bowl.
Yep.
Don't got much to say about that.
Shows off the models. I will give a shout out. They're on the screen right now. The High Elf and Dwarf referees. Fun models. Yeah. Really fun models.
I remember whenever they showed the dwarf beard and book, I was trying to convince myself and everyone else that was a new Rune Lord for the new Dispossessed army, but yep.
Now also they announced here too the Warcry books to have all the rules based upon your Grand Alliance.
Yes. I think this game desperately needed this.
I do, but at the same time, I love playing with the cards. If I had to use my rules out of the book, I'd be like, it's too much.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, personally, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to buy a digital copy of these and then print up whatever page I need.
There you go. That's a good way to do it.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, again, like we talked about before, during their Choose Your Grand Alliance video, they, for literally 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, showed an Iron Breaker, and I was like, oh god, I need to start a Dispossessed army again. No, you gotta get rid of all this.
Not again.
But then they so again, I don't know when those are coming out. I would assume it has to be probably beginning of the year.
I have a feeling this sort of stuff will be perfect for December.
Yeah. There's nothing. I mean, books are very easy to put out, so yeah, we'll see. But I'll probably get them all just to have them.
Right.
Then we finally got the new season of Underworlds announced. Dire Chasm.
Dire Chasm.
Which,
yeah, like the Lumineth Realm Lords and Slaanesh.
Yep. So there was that owl from the Lumineth leader who that was a rumor engine. Right. I honestly thought that was going to be what was the name of the elves from the last set? It was the starter set.
Oh, the Skaith's Wild Hunt. The Carnothy.
Yeah, the Carnothy. Yeah. I swore up and down that was a new Carnothy.
Well, I mean, Owls and Wisdom, it makes sense for the Lumina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about the side shave, but that's a nitpick. That's
I like the side shave. I get it. They're all doing like yoga poses. But the leader, the mage, he's on the screen right now. He's doing the tree pose. And I'm just like,
Again, I have a feeling this is going to be a running theme, and you best get used to it, or just get off now.
I'll jump on. I'm not sure. Like, it's hard for me because I have my Daughters of Cain warband.
Yeah.
So once I get that, I usually stop caring about other stuff for a while. So I'm not sure if I'm going to buy the new. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy the new box set or if I'll just wait to pick them up individually.
Well, you know I am. So
yeah.
So again, with that hammer, the hammer with the god awful helmet.
I like those helmets.
Oh my dear God! You
anyway.
better like them because you're getting them all.
But it looks like a great box set. The Slangor is exciting. The Swordmaster is phenomenal.
I am
the
so excited because again, there's no way they're just making one Swordmaster. So to me, this says that we're getting a Swordmaster unit,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to have that awesome Japanese style back banners. I don't know if it's going to be just the leader, just a banner carrier, or it's going to be the whole unit. We'll have to see. But
Right.
and then of course the Sentinel standing feet together.
Yeah.
And then we got more Slanesh mortals. We got a Slanesh demon, which
Yep. It's a nice mix because you have the mortal, you have the demon, and you have the Slangor too. Like, so the Beastmen, like, they kind of got it all with that, which is just a wonderful thing. Like,
these, again, this further fortifies how cool this Slanesh mortals faction is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then moving along, we got another touch of the animated series that are coming up, or animated, whatever you want to call them, their series of
like little sizzle reel of all the ones coming out, which look forward to that, but I'm trying to not remember that they're happening till they're out.
yeah, they definitely have been. They've been telling us about these for a while, and again, whenever you're new into the animation scene, I think people always underestimate how long it takes, and then definitely COVID is definitely hitting it pretty hard. I'm a little upset that we didn't get one AOS series. I'm sure it's in the work.
Yeah, as long as these come out. You got to start out with where the money's at.
Yeah,
and it's $40K. Can't lie.
Well, again, it's kind of one of those things: which came first, chicken or the egg? You know, are you getting money because you push it to the high heavens, or is it as big as it is? So you push it like it's. I don't know. It would have been good for them to slip in one Stormcast short, like a 5 episodes. You know,
that's true.
Who knows?
One more thing.
I mean, well, before that, what do you think about the animation on a lot of these?
I like that they're just trying out different styles. Not everybody likes every style. It's just nice to see them experimenting so broadly, and then they can see what hits and what doesn't, and kind of slim it down from there.
Yeah. I'm absolutely going to watch these, and I'm absolutely looking forward to coming out. But none of the animation style from these little snippets really does. Nothing strikes me.
Well, you gotta wait and see, though.
Right, you absolutely have to wait and see. But I'm just saying, as of right now, there's not really that thing to pull me in.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm already in. So
yeah, we're already here. So just enjoy.
If I wasn't into 40K, that wouldn't do it. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to support Warhammer into doing more things like this. So
yes.
And the last thing they put up was
Kill Team.
What was it? Kill Team, just stating that they're doing something.
I don't know. Yeah, is it full rules overhauls? Is it an update? Whatever. I have a small Kill Team force. It's fun.
Woo! Go play Kill Team.
Yeah.
Next up was the combat patrols, but I just want to talk about what those were, and we already talked about those.
Yep. Oh, actually, I like on the website here. It gives you what boxes to buy to essentially equal half an army in power level. That's, I mean, I hope they have those somewhere in store as well. Yeah. That's a good selling point. Hey, this way you're halfway to an army, and at that point, it's okay, well, sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we touched most of the next article as well about the Broken Realms.
Yes.
The only thing we didn't touch on was the website. The website is surprisingly awesome. I know whenever they first announced Broken Realms, I was like, cool, you gave me a name and you told me that it's a book.
Yeah, the website gave a lot of valuable information right away. Actually showed us those 4 narrative battle boxes contents. But yeah, I mean, they did this for Malign Portents, the Soul Wars and all that. So I really like that they're doing this, and I think this one they learned the lessons from the previous ones and doing it right. And not to mention, like, can I say, like, as someone who loves every single thing that is Daughters of Cain, as you know, when they did the teaser video for Broken Realms Marathi, and they kept the same art style that they used in the old Daughters of Cain, like that red and black kind of like sketch style art, that was just perfect. Like, make that the thing for them. Like, just, you know, every time you want to touch Marathi in like a Marathi or Daughters of Cain focus thing, keep using that style. And the voice actress, she does a phenomenal job. I don't know who she is, what else she's done, but like, that's Marathi's voice for forever.
Yeah. All right, so on to the next exciting news. Tempest Fall. It's a VR Age of Sigmar Stormcast Eternal game.
Yeah. And it looks pretty high quality. Like,
yeah.
Like good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was pre-alpha. Yeah. This image on screen is pre-alpha, and it looks pretty nice.
Again, at the end of the day, I'm super stoked that we're finally going to see some Age of Sigmar video games coming out. I think it's been a long time coming. I get very annoyed whenever I see new Warhammer Fantasy stuff coming out, because I get it.
Well, it's still good. It's still popular, but like us who play Age of Sigmar, we're past that, and we've mourned that world. That it kind of hurts sometimes to have to go back there so much.
Right, exactly. It's like, not only do you have people who, because again, like, there's a very small population that you're doing them a favor. It's like, there's the population that just accepts that fantasy's over, and hey, it's not bad to go and visit every once in a while.
Right.
But then you have the other people who fought against it and slowly came back to Age of Sigmar begrudgingly, and then you're rubbing it in their face that, hey, fantasy's gone, but, you know, we'll still do video games and stuff.
Right.
And then you have the people that, like, you know, kind of, you know, they made the step forward, they went with Age of Sigmar, they understood, and even though they like the, you know, they weren't done with fantasy, but still chose to move forward regardless.
Right.
So... And then, of course, you also have the new Age of Sigmar people that don't know what fantasy is and didn't play fantasy.
Right.
So you really have one group out of that is being catered to by still releasing fantasy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like I said, with this, I would have, I'm not going to lie, I would have loved to have seen something less niche.
That's it. Yeah, my worry for this is that it's... like, you know, like a tech demo, like it's gonna be kind of I'm worried it's not a full game. I'm worried that it's just a VR game that they threw a skin on.
Well,
you know,
it's like Vader Immortal.
Yeah, but I know, but like I don't know. I do hope that we get like a full like RPG or like Total War game for Age of Sigmar at some point.
I want like a Total War. I want a Dawn of War. I want Knights of the Old Republic.
I want a Dragon Age. Yeah. Dragon Age
right,
story.
like,
yeah.
Give me something where I can make my character. You know, give me a Soulbound game. You know.
Yep.
But again, I will happily choose a VR game over no game at all.
Yes. Yep.
All right, moving along. Warhammer Worlds.
Rena Mortis.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too thrilled about this release, but at the same time, it is Underworlds. I love Underworlds, so I definitely want to support it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, you know, just a little expansion. Plus, they give you some free cards to download for the Stormcast and the Night Haunt characters. So, and I always appreciate that. Like, it's sometimes, like, for them, it's not hard to just throw together like a small PDF thing like this, and I just love them. Like, it's like cool.
Yeah. So basically, for people that don't know, it is a separate entity of Warhammer Underworlds that uses your current Underworld stuff. It's essentially just an arena brawler where you bring one guy, and you can play. I believe it's up to 6 people.
Yep, shown 6. Yep.
So, yeah. Again, if you have a large group of Underworld players, that's going to be for you. However, don't go there for something competitive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
We'll
gonna be a fun beer and pretzel game.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so moving along. This will be just a quick touch base here. So we got our first short story of the Broken Realms, the Clobbering.
Which they're releasing these every 2 weeks if you sign up for the Broken Realms newsletter, which is on the Broken Realms website.
Yep. So definitely do that. So you can download an EPUB version or the PDF. To no surprise, it's all about the halflings and their vicious bloodlust.
Yes, this was not about orcs at all. Yeah, no, and like I said, they're posting them on the Warhammer community site as well. But like, you get to see them first if you sign up to the newsletter. But it was a really good short story. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it'll take you 10-15 minutes to read it all. Just definitely, I would say, get it all taken care of. So then we also touched on this on the releases. This next one, the Shadow and Pain unboxed, where we got a better look at the.
So beautiful.
Yeah,
it goes over the rules a little bit of some of the like little teases on them.
Yep, and so I said this is mainly just to remind myself to make sure we talk about it. But yeah, like I said, super excited, can't wait. Next thing was also about the next Space Marine Heroes 3 set.
Specifically about the Nurglings that come with.
Yeah.
Pretty much every model gets a Nurgling, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I mean, I might have to go back and look to see what the other ones work. So if I actually do a Space Marine army, I might pick up some of these older ones and integrate them in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we got probably the biggest news in most recent beyond... I should maybe the most controversial. The coin and the model.
Well, the model's not controversial. Model's zero controversy. It's free. It's a free model. It's no one's gonna. No one complains. Here you go. Free model.
I will. How dare you? There. Okay. So now the coin. They could have done this a million ways, and I feel like they chose the poorest.
Yeah. So if you. Okay, so you get every month they're going to have a different coin and a different free model themed around what's being released, I guess the big release for that month. This month, it's a free Witch Elf and a coin that has Marathis symbol inside the Warhammer community on the other. One model per customer, that's fine. It's, like I'm a Dark Arcane player, but I'm not going to worry about a free Witch Elf. I have 200. But for someone who's looking at that army, painting it, they might be like, "Oh, I really like this," and I think that's an excellent idea. Coin.
I'm really glad that before this Witch Elf went out to battle, she had time to put on her eyeshadow and blush.
I mean, mine put on their makeup too. It's important. But yeah, the coin. So the coin, if you spend $100 at the store, you get the coin. Now, for some things, the Shadow and Pain, that would have easily hit that dollar amount, but you can only do it at the Games Workshop store, and you can't do it online.
Yep.
So here's where I have a problem with it. I have a Games Workshop store near me, and by near me I mean like an hour away. I have a multiple, and one in particular, but friendly local game stores that aren't GW, but the one is 10 minutes from me if I take a slow walk. And he supports me as much as I support him. So I prefer to give as much as my money for this hobby to him. So I have no access to this coin. If they would have... Here's what I would have rather have them done. Made these coins. Made them limited, sure. Hey, and make them $20 to $25. I would have went and bought it.
Well, they would have never gone below 35. But
sure, yeah, but even 35, I might have been like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. It's limited. It's my army. I'm not. No, they're clearly trying to push because you get like a free coin case if you get 6 of them, and there's like 12. It's like I'm not spending $1,200 for coins. All right, there's not enough Warhammer that I want every single month for that. I would like this coin very much. I do not have that coin, nor do I know if I will get that coin. Because it's, like I said, I'm not gonna guarantee them driving out to go spend $100 just to get a coin.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, at least, I mean, that's the thing is like, you know, I understand that there's going to be Games Workshop exclusive stores.
yes.
There's going to be exclusives within the Warhammer stores. I get that, and I understand that. But to then put the price point at $100 every month,
yeah,
for this thing is probably, you know what, nickel plated. I mean,
this cost them $1.50 to make.
Right. So it's a little exorbitant. It's a big ask of your loyal fan base and customer base to shell out that much, that rapid pace.
And like I said, you could have just sold the coin as is for a lot to make profit. You could have made it, hey, if you buy the new something, if you buy X number of dollars from the new release, if you buy $40 from the new release things, or 50, that's easy. Like, if spending $50 at a Games Workshop is pretty easy. And yeah, like
you can do that in pain alone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but still, it's just like.
Honestly, I agree with you. I
like,
think it should have been $35, or if you spend $100, you get one free.
Yeah,
and it should have been web store as well.
Like I said, I had a small mini crisis being between my consumerism and my non-consumerism. I don't know what to call that, but yeah, I decided like I'm not gonna drive an hour out of my way, and just to get this coin.
Yeah,
like that. I'm not giving it, like, I'll check if it pops up on eBay for a cost that I seem reasonable. Sure, I might buy it there.
I'm checking for you.
Yeah, if I can if I can stumble into one, yeah, I'll see what happens then. But like, it's unlikely unless I magically find an extra $100 in the next couple weeks to go blow on Warhammer specifically. So yeah, it's like I say, it's a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, it's like it's a coin. I don't need it.
Yeah,
it would just sit on my shelf and look cool. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, as we've kind of gone over the month of October, it's a month of some hard hitting wallet busters.
Yeah.
You know, it might be about time for GW to take the foot off the throat a little bit.
Yeah.
I know, you know, there are people that get paid to get choked out, but to keep them customers, you got to let them breathe eventually.
Yep. Yeah, and they have their new retail website. I guess we can touch upon too.
The retail website? I don't think I knew about this.
Is this article? Yeah, yep. New retail website. It's on the screen right now. It just kind of covers like this sort of stuff that's going on, so it gives it a home, which I mean that's a good thing, because that way you can go there and see the new stuff. So yeah, like I said, it's and the, you know, seeing these images too, it's like I would love to go in there and just have the money just to drop and buy a coin, but it's like
right,
if it was closer, yeah, but like, oh well.
All right, well, let's wrap up with our last news story, the White Dwarf preview.
Yeah.
So this again, like you were saying at the beginning here, that this looks like this is going to be one hell of an issue. We're looking at getting stuff for basically everything.
Yep.
Adeptus Titanicus, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, Imperialis, Warcry, Middle Earth strategy battle game, which you should go out and start playing if you haven't already. Warcry,
a custom Middle Earth game. Did you mentioned Middle Earth? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you just said it at the end.
You should go out and start playing right now.
And a poster.
So the Warcry, it actually adds Warcry rules for Bugmanson.
Which, if it's like the Gotrek one, it's like a fun mini game where you just fight just him and he's really overpowered.
Yeah. Again, for the people that are listening, if you don't listen to Warhammer Weekly as well,
Yeah.
definitely do that. Last week, they Vince and Tom put together hilarious rules.
Okay.
regarding-
the what would his rules look like if they were true KO fashion?
They don't work on garrison models. It's only on re-rolling for ones to hit.
On Tuesdays.
Right. So for the Middle Earth strategy battle game, so this is actually an old game that they used to have in the original books, or it might have been from an old White Dwarf, more than likely, where it was how to do a special wizard duel before Gandalf and Sauron. And so
Wait.
Sauron. Yeah, Sauron. Keeper of the Ring. That's,
Yeah. It's a fair fight.
I doubt it, but I hope they have rules for other wizards in there, or the rules are generic enough that you can use other wizards.
Yeah, I'd love to put like Galadriel in there, because
Right,
I have.
that would be really.
I mean, I have a Gandalf, but Galadriel.
Yeah. So that is the rules, or that's what happened in the last month.
Yeah. Well, they're continuing the Flashpoint in this article too.
Yeah. Well, we already touched on Flashpoint.
But here's something that I do want to talk about that you didn't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the developers, Sam, for Age of Sigmar, wrote, I think it's 3 separate campaigns that you can play solo or cooperative, because due to all the lockdowns and everything, it's a campaign you can play by yourself, or you can play it competitively by doing your games against other people who are doing their games at their house. I'm not sure how it works. I'm excited to read it because it's like, if you made this work, and I mean, Sam's he's the one that did Warcry, or maybe it's Underworld. I don't know. He's done a lot. He's really good at what he does. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be, and it's in a White Dwarf. So pick this one up for sure.
Yeah. So that's what you missed or forgot about in the last month and 10 days.
Yeah.
Is there any other topics you wanted to touch on before we wrap up?
No, I think we're good. The Big M's Power Hour stretched on for exactly 2 hours at the time of my speaking those words.
That is the Power Hour.
I guess I'll bring it up here. If you want to visit the Strength Hammer website, strengthhammer.net, where there's new blog posts every Wednesday, so there'll be one out this Wednesday as well, or next Wednesday. I'm not sure if this is going out tomorrow, which would be Tuesday the 10th, or end of the week. Regardless, check out strengthhammer.net for all your Strength Hammer needs.
And don't forget, Brush for Hire. Make him paint Middle Earth strategy battle game miniatures. Brush for Hire.
Because why aren't you playing it yet?
Play it now.